Elizabeth Warren was just speaking at a meeting of rich Democratic donors, which is scary to hear, but the way it worked out actually I think is quite positive and gives us an idea of what her strategy going forward might be now that she has been in a very real sense unleashed, unchained, and can speak freely about whatever she wants. And so the first topic we're going to cover is her views on Obamacare. Now, she prefaced these comments by saying that she can defend the law better than almost anyone, citing the ways that it has helped the country. But she also said, let's be honest, it's not bold, it's not transformative. Had the party acknowledged its shortcomings and pledged to fight for more, she said that message might have resonated. And she said, I'm okay taking half a loaf if our message was, here's half, now let's go get the rest. Which sounds very much like what Bernie Sanders was saying during the primary, talking about what was necessary to finally make sure that everyone has health insurance and higher quality health insurance than they get under Obamacare right now.
I thought you were going to say that it sounds a lot like what I say. I think I might have literally said that in a video yesterday.
About loaves?
About loaves, right? So anyway, but that's why we like her, because we're like-minded and we're right.
Yeah.
So they played for half a loaf strategy. And then since they never made their own case in a way that rallied the American people to be excited by it, well, then Trump was allowed to come in and win. And then all of a sudden, at best, we're down to a quarter loaf.
Yeah.
So what she's saying is, and you'll see it in the next quote even more, you've got to win on the ideology. You've got to convince Americans that not just, hey, I compromised with Republicans and I made a deal and it's not so bad. No, we're right. We're right. You should want the whole loaf. Yeah. You should really, really want it, and we should push for it.
They're scared to run on ideas that we know the polling shows would be incredibly popular. It would be like being scared to sell a loaf of bread. We love carbs in America, man. We will eat up carbs or progressive ideas, whatever the metaphor is. But they're generally scared to actually push for them. But thankfully not Elizabeth Warren. Now, one of the donors at the meeting said it felt like she'd been rather further liberated. She made no particular effort to be quite as good a soldier. It definitely seemed like a new era, that she was able to really step out more than she'd been able to. And we have some ideas of other things that she brought up during that speech. She highlighted Democrats' inability to help homeowners during the financial crisis, even though banks were bailed out. She blasted the failure to prosecute the bankers, saying that it suggested to working people just whose side the party was on, which we, of course, have pointed out as well. She also picked on corporate-friendly trade policies, arguing Democrats were too eager to push deals that hurt the working class. And I would add, not quick enough to point out how their economic agenda could potentially benefit the working class.
So this is a case where the aggressive progressives had a point. So the guys like Jimmy Dore and Steve-O and others that argued for, well, if Trump wins, at least we'll have one upside. Not to say that that's a good thing, but the one upside will be it'll rally progressives to go in that direction and liberate them from having to say, well, Hillary Clinton is kind of right, and I suppose we should go for another 1/3 of a loaf, right?
See, I don't agree. I think that she obviously wanted Hillary Clinton to win, and she would have also been freed up had Hillary Clinton won.
I don't think so at all. I totally disagree.
We have the office.
No.
She's able to criticize without the fear of the office going to a fascist.
No way. We had that with Obama. Where were they? So even
I would argue that Elizabeth Warren very often was pushing for the right thing.
That's right, but not to this degree, okay? So now the reason I like Elizabeth Warren is because she was a very rare person, along with Bernie Sanders, who would every once in a while go, I think maybe we should try being progressive. The president isn't doing it quite enough. I mean, I love the president. I don't know. That's the best you got, right? And we were like, wait, I think she's actually a progressive. Now she's not saying that. She's saying, no, we screwed up. We should have been a lot more progressive, and we should have fought. If Hillary Clinton was president today, Elizabeth Warren doesn't give this speech. No way she gives this speech. She gives a speech about, well, this is good. It's a good opportunity. And Hillary Clinton will, go for incremental change, and she'll say incremental change is good.
Elizabeth
good.
Warren
I wish we
gave
could get a little
fairly
bit
good
more.
Speeches like 2 weeks ago, pushing Hillary Clinton before the election to be more outspoken on some of these issues. It might not have been quantitatively as strong a speech, but that was before the election.
No, she had 8 years to say Obamacare wasn't nearly enough, and she said not enough. Instead of now going, no, we did it wrong. Look, so here's another quote.
Well, that sucks because we're apparently about to lose it.
Okay, so but this is how we regain it. with people who finally go, enough with the goddamn compromises, and the corporatists telling us how great Wall Street is and how we shouldn't prosecute them. And so Attorney General Eric Holder came out and said they're too big to jail. Now, if he was a Republican, Elizabeth Warren would have ripped his face off. He was a Democrat, and she was like, I politely disagree, Eric. Okay? That's a big, big difference. Here she is going, hey, where's your face? Because I can't wait to rip it off, because that's not right. My favorite quote is, she said, that's where we failed. Not in our messaging, but in our ideology. So that's her saying, hey, don't tell me pretty little words again about, oh, if we had marketed it better this way, or if we'd run the right ads in Wisconsin and Michigan, or if we did, but no. Your ideology of protecting the bankers was wrong. Your ideology of protecting corporations because they're your donors is wrong. The American people don't want that. They want the opposite.
I would argue she's delivered that message before.
Look, again, we're
Very
arguing
few
about
have.
degrees. We're arguing about degrees, but they're important degrees.
Yeah.
So,
But I will say, as a more general thing, if Trump becoming president has a nice little side effect of inspiring progressives some more, then that is great, and I will take it. But the idea that that will in any way make up for the tsunami of damage that's about to happen to some of the most important progressive priorities, and the long-term damage that will be done by the Supreme Court becoming not just conservative, but potentially more conservative for another generation, that is a ridiculous fantasy. The idea that that's worth it, that that's a bargain anyone should want to make.
John, that's why I made the counter argument before the election.
I agree, and I'm not arguing with you.
But what you're bringing up is important, because I don't want people like, everybody lives in a binary world. So no, Donald Trump getting elected is very likely to be a giant disaster. That doesn't mean you can't find some upsides. Pointing out one upside doesn't mean, oh, you wanted him to win all along.
No,
I know it.
I'm here to be a wet blanket, goddammit, and I'm going to do that.
Right. So, look.
I'll find upsides in a week or two. Trump just became president.
Here's another upside of Trump winning, okay? All these Hillary Clinton staffers who, in the Hill, they talked about how they were looking forward to their, quote, gilded future. Oh!
Did they use that word?
The Hill described them talking in that way.
I hope they didn't say gilded.
Okay. So, and there was unbearable quote after unbearable quote. Now, those guys, they're all wedded to this system. They were never going to give you the full loaf. They were going to give the loaf to the donors. That's who they were going to give to. So the fact that those guys are going to get cleaned out now is a great thing. That doesn't mean Trump should have won. No. Trump's going to do untold damage. But
then we agree.
There are two silver linings in a very dark cloud. I need you to be able to think in a non-binary way. So
that's what I was pushing for on election night when we were deciphering exactly what had caused the election to go the way it was.
Yeah. So the
I'm
fact
for non-binary thinking.
And Bernie Sanders is on the warpath. Elizabeth Warren's on the warpath. That's fantastic news. Let's go join him on that warpath and fight for a real progressive ideology. You know who makes independent media possible? You guys. Because of you, we can actually do this show free of any outside influence. That's what makes us so strong. Become a member today. tytnetwork.com/join. You are the media.